House Republicans are regrouping this week after failing to pass a farm bill last Friday. Democrats opposed the bill, but so did many conservatives, including members of the House Freedom Caucus, who wanted a vote on immigration first. Molly Hooper is a CBSN political contributor and congressional reporter for The Hill. She joins me now from Washington. All right, so Molly, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy offered the Freedom Caucus a vote on its immigration legislation in early June. Why wasn't that enough to get their votes?
Well, because he also offered a deal with the moderates. Because keep in mind, so this farm bill brouhaha, it's not really about the farm bill, it's about immigration. And the fact that moderates, House Republican moderates, the folks who usually vote with the leadership whenever they need tough votes, they actually decided to stand up and get a petition together, a discharge petition, to force a vote on the various immigration proposals, not just one immigration proposal that is favored by the conservatives and is pushed by House leadership, the Good Lot bill. So the moderates are gathering signatures to force a vote on the House floor on a number of these various immigration bills, including bipartisan bills that would deal with DACA, because they had been told, since the beginning of the year, since last year really, that the DACA situation would be taken care of. There would be a vote on it, but it hasn't happened. So moderates start picking up steam. They're about 5 signatures, Republican signatures, away from forcing what's known as a Queen of the Hill situation on the floor, where several immigration bills come up, and the bill that gets the most support basically goes on to the Senate. Okay. Conservatives say they don't want that. They just want to vote on the Good Lot bill. Now, leadership has been trying to move this Good Lot bill. They've been trying to gather they've been trying to gather support for it, because right now a majority of the Republican conference doesn't even support this bill. And so the conservatives say, well, they see that the moderates are getting some support for this discharge petition, and they think, well, how can we stop this from happening and force a vote on immigration? Well, we have the Farm Bill. And keep in mind that this Farm Bill has one of Speaker Ryan's key provisions that has to do with welfare and putting stricter standards on people who get food stamps. So it's welfare to work, that kind of thing. And so, leadership meets with the heads of the moderates, the heads of the Freedom Caucus on, I think it was Thursday, and says, okay, we'll have a vote on immigration come June. But it's unclear exactly how that's going to work. And so the Freedom Caucus folks said, until we know how that's going to work and which legislation will have support and which one will go forward on the floor, we're not going to vote for your farm bill. And they killed it.
Well, so does this rebellion indicate Speaker Ryan, who's obviously on his way out here, is really quickly approaching lame duck status?
Oh my gosh, it's tough to be a lame duck. And I mean, it's really tough, especially when you have a situation where you have, these different factions in the conference who can't rally around your successor. And that's part of the problem, because you have people like Mick Mulvaney, the OMB director, sort of positing this idea of, it would be great, let's have, if the Republicans got together and had a vote on Speaker before the midterm elections, because then it would force Democrats to go on the record as supporting Nancy Pelosi for Speaker, because the whole House votes on Speaker. The only problem with that is Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise, and likely Jim Jordan, who would represent the Freedom Caucus, none of those candidates or those contenders has enough support from their own conference to actually get the 218 votes needed to become Speaker of the full House.
Wow.
And that's the problem. I know, it's a nail biter.
Yeah.
And then you have Paul Ryan, who has to somehow wrangle these folks. And what
does he do now, Molly? I mean,
well,
really?
That's the thing. He's kind of one of the reasons, perhaps he opted to retire. Just that, this is a guy who he's a policy guy. We all know Paul Ryan as a policy guy. He loved being the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, and for him to actually give that up to become Speaker and have to wrangle, 236 Republican members, that really was saying something at the time when this happened several years ago, when Speaker Boehner left. Well, I hear privately from some lawmakers, even the ones who weren't big fans of Speaker Boehner, man, maybe it'd be a lot easier if John Boehner was here. Because John Boehner, the one thing that he likes he likes to make is that I was one of 11 kids, 11 brothers and sisters, and I know how to deal with lots of people with different interests. And when you're Speaker of the House, you have every single member of your conference, plus Democrats, because you represent the entire institution, right? They all want something from you. And Paul Ryan just wants to do policy.
Well, it's an incredibly difficult position.
Very difficult.
Molly Hooper keeping an eye on all of it in Washington for us. Molly, thank you so much.
Thank you.